Stimulus. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats could release their proposal for a second round of economic stimulus to combat the economic hit from coronavirus as early as this week. This comes as the Trump administration is focused on providing payroll tax cuts to American workers to combat the economic effects of this virus. All hands on deck. The president weighed in yesterday at the White House.
We are going to take care of and have been taking care of the American public and the American economy, working with companies and small companies, large companies, a lot of companies, so that they don't get penalized for something that's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not our country's fault. This was something that we were thrown into, and we're going to handle it, and we have been handling it very well.
Joining me right now is Texas Congressman, House Financial Services Committee member Roger Williams. And Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Maria.
So tell me about this payroll tax plan. The president apparently is going to speak about it this morning when he goes to meet some of your colleagues in the Senate. Do you think this would move the needle in terms of the stimulus to offset what is clearly a slowdown coming?
Well, I think so. I've always been a proponent of cutting payroll taxes. I think it's important that right now we focus, I'd like to see him focus on cutting payroll taxes to the employer. There is cash flow out there. I'm a Main Street business owner. Business is still very good. And I think, though, if you focus on the employer and cut the payroll tax, along with the employee if you choose to do so, the money will get in the right hands. Businesses can still expand. Businesses can hire. And I think that's a good way to go if they choose to do that.
Congressman, how are you doing? What's the story in the Capitol these days? We know that many of your colleagues are self-quarantining.
Right. Well, I'm doing fine. I was at CPAC and gave the opening speech that first morning, and they've confirmed that I didn't come in contact with anyone or the person. So I feel great. I mean, I'm ready to get after it today.
Congressman Kelly Torrance here. Of course, your Democratic colleagues have a different idea on what to do to get the economy stimulated. They want to spend a lot of money. It seems to me it's a little too early to decide on that, but the Democrats say they want to do something very quickly. What's your take?
Well, it is way too early. Let me just reinforce the fact the economy is good. I mean, I am a small business owner. It's as good as I've ever seen. I've been in business 50 years. So I don't think we need to try to tweak something that's working. I think if, to start laying out, shoving more money in the economy, I'm not for bailouts. We don't need that. The economy is good. The stock market will come back. Let the private sector begin to get it back. Confidence is good. So I wouldn't overreact right now.
Congressman Scott Martin, I like the payroll tax effort, especially the fact that it could be extended through the end of the year. However, that's obviously on the assumption that businesses are going to stay in business and keep payrolls on the books. So is there anything we could do for some of these, say, small businesses that may be at risk to make sure they stay in business, so therefore they will benefit from a payroll tax cut?
Well, I mean, we don't want to lose any small businesses. One of the best things that small business has going for it right now is the low interest rates. You're still able to borrow on lines of credit. Your banks are still wanting to do business with you. So I think if you keep your rates down, which we're going to do, you pass a payroll tax cut, not only to the employee but the employer, that does a lot for confidence. And the main thing is we want small businesses to still hire people, keep their payrolls, invest, research, and that sort of thing. And that's what we can still do. This is not 2008. This is not 1988. This is not 1981. I mean, I've been there. So I think if we force a problem down force an issue that we don't have a problem right now, it could go the other direction.
Congressman, it's Dagan McDowell. You said no to bailouts, but we, like it or not, are a bailout nation. We bailed out the airlines after 9/11. We just bailed out the farmers during that trade fight with China. And you have a number of industries, including the airlines, facing their biggest crisis in terms of a revenue hit since those terror attacks in 2001. We also have energy companies because of a price war started between Russia and Saudi Arabia. We have hospitality and leisure companies going to get hit. These are all industries that are highly leveraged. So are you saying no to bailouts even if things get worse for those companies?
Well, I'm saying no to bailouts right now, as I said earlier, Dagan. I mean, I don't think we're there yet. And look, I'm a business person, and if the government needs to step in and help to a certain extent, then we need to take a look at it. But right now, we just aren't there, and we may be there. I don't know, but right now we're not. With low interest rates, with high employment, more jobs than people, the economy in Main Street is still very good.
So what would
just
you
wanted
like to
point
see
out,
then?
I forgot the bank bailout. That was a biggie.
That's the big one.
That
Absolutely.
gave rise to the Tea Party, by the way. The Tea Party grew out of that bailout because people were so angry.
Yeah.
But
go
ahead.
Good point. So Kevin McCarthy says that you are looking at something surgical. What would you like to see in terms of helping one industry or another at this moment in time where we see business really coming to a halt in so many areas? Are you looking at a surgical plan?
Well, I think if you talk surgically, you're looking at individual industries, and I think you have to be wide open. You have to take a look at this. But again, I'm just concerned about overreaction right now. We don't need to be afraid. We need to be aware of what can happen. But individual industries are hurting. We know that. Take a look at that. See what the right tact is. But keep interest rates down. Cut the payroll tax in half for the employee and the employer, and I think things will turn around as the market moves forward.
All right, we will leave it there. We'll be watching, Congressman. Obviously a nervous time. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congressman Roger Williams.